Now, for generations of Crestview families, middle school has meant Davidson or Shoal River. Depending on which side of town that you live on, that's really going to decide which school that you go to. Now, Davidson is led by Principal Laura King. Davidson has earned an A both 2025 and 2026. And one number that really stands out is the 91% social studies achievement in 2026. Now, Davidson offers its core academics electives. They've got wonderful guidance counselors like Sarah Gleason-Camp. They've got military family support. They've got an awesome media center. They've got school advisory council involvement, resource officers on site, and a care crew student activities. They've got the Hope Squad. And, this is just where Davidson really ends up. They start building these programs like they've got sports, baseball, basketball. Is big, softball, swimming, tennis, you name it, they've got it, and volleyball. Now, Davidson has won in the past. They've won the football championship in 2022. That was a county championship, and it's absolutely something that the Panthers can definitely be proud of. So now let's jump over to Shoal River Middle School. Their colors are red, white, and blue. How patriotic. And they are led by none other than Jason Driver. Now, Shoal River did earn an A in 2024, 2025, and 2026. Their achievements included 78% in math, 71% in English language arts, and then 65% in science. And 82% in social studies. So look, Shoal River offers the core academics, electives, accelerated work courses, coursework for students who, want a career in technical education opportunities. It has a sports lineups that include like baseball, boys and girls basketball, cheerleading, cross country, dance, football. It's got flag football. You name it, they've got it. Golf, soccer, swimming. Let's see what else. They've got track, volleyball. There are clubs there as well. And those are usually shaped by student interest in which teachers are able to sponsor them in any given year. So again, look, Shoal River is right beside that Riverside. So a lot of the kids in this area walk to school. So if you live in one of the neighboring communities there, your child can just walk to school and then walk home from school if that's something that you allow. So now let's talk about a Crestview school that newcomers do not always understand at first. Let's talk about Lance C. Richburg School on Alabama Street. This is led by Principal Tommy Harvell. Richburg is not another traditional neighborhood elementary, middle, or high school. Now, this school serves students through specialized exceptional student education programs, and it also is home to the ECCI Fast Track North, which provides a different educational path for students who need one. That matters because of not every student is best served by the exact same setup. Richburg's work is more individualized, and its, public resources include exceptional student services information, like a school improvement planning, Title I, family information is what they have a lot of. They have scholarship resources and the school advisory council. You are not looking at like a traditional varsity sports program or that usual neighborhood school experience here at Richburg. I'd say has a different mission, meeting students where they are and helping them move forward on a path that is built around that student's needs. It's an important part of Crestview school community, and it deserves to be included where we talk about the full picture. So now let's talk about what brings this community together on Friday nights. Let's talk about those Bulldogs. Crestview High School, which is led by Principal Victoria Hayden. Now, Crestview did earn a B for the 2026 year, but their graduation rate that they used in the state's accountability calculation was 99%. Its achievements, I would say, were like 86% in science, 73% in social studies, and I'm pretty sure 62% in English language arts. Really unsure about the math. I want to say it was in the 50s range, but look, by high school, the question is not only how is the school rated, it's what path can my child really build at this school. So for kids that are looking to go to college, look, Crestview High School offers those honors classes, advanced placement coursework. They even do like this dual enrollment through Northwest Florida State College. They've got online course options, scholarship opportunities, and college advancing. And then they even have the Air Force Junior ROTC. So for students who want that career skills, Crestview High School offers career and technical education pathways with opportunities that are tied to the industries and that kind of certifications that they're going for. The course menu can shift, as long as they're going with the teachers that they currently hold for the 2026-2027 year, so just make sure that you check in to see exactly which ones that they're offering that school year. Because if students interested in performing and getting involved, they can also get involved in band, chorus, any kind of those activities, services, leadership programs. They've got some really neat things happening at Crestview High School. Now, one thing that I will say about Crestview is that they do have a big athletic program. They have football, baseball, softball, boys and girls basketball, volleyball, girls soccer. They've got cross country, track, swimming. They've even got golf, tennis. They've got a good weightlifting team. Wrestling is incredible. And they have cheer and dance. Now, the Bulldogs have won some, championships in the past. Now, Crestview High boys basketball did win the state championship in 1985 and 2019. And then the cheerleaders did win a Florida State championship in 2010. Now, the football team finished as runner-ups for Florida in 2002, whenever my brother played for them. So whenever we're talking about middle school championships versus high school championships, those are more middle school would be district-wide whenever they win the championship. So it's whatever schools are in their district versus at the high school, it's, they've got to win regionals, or district, then they got to win regionals, and then they go to state. So it's more of a state, championship versus a national championship. So now if you're looking for some of the options, a little more northwest of Crestview is Baker School. That'll probably come into your search. Baker is outside of the city of Crestview, but it is in Okaloosa County, and it serves, I'd say, pre-kindergarten all the way through 12th grade on one campus. So they're all in one, K through 12. And Mr. Martello is the principal there. Now, Baker does offer some kind of career and educational. They do dual enrollment opportunities, and they offer junior ROTC. They do chorus, and they do have a full sports program as well. So some of the sports I think are cheer, they do cross country, dance, they've got football, and they've got middle and high school golf, volleyball, they've got boys and girls basketball, they do weightlifting, baseball, softball, track. So Baker has really had two individual Florida state champions. They've got, in 2026, they had one of the kids who won the FHSA weightlifting championship. So, and then another kid won the javelin title. So that was where they, kind of throw in track. And he threw the longest in the Florida across all of their classifications. So that's awesome for Baker. So those are more of the state championships, not a national championship. for them. So like I said, Baker would have to go through their district, their region, and then go into the state level. So, what do I really want you to take away from Crestview Florida Schools? What parents, I would say, really, really need to know before moving here on this, I'd say 2026, 2027 school year is that first, Okaloosa County has a strong statewide record, but no ranking can tell you everything that you need to know about your child's day. So if you have a preschooler or a young elementary school student, you may be thinking about BPK or childcare. You may start to think about the reading or support that they get at that school to have that first school experience welcoming. If you have older kids, ones that are like in the older elementary schools, you might start to look at schools that have those leadership opportunities, maybe the running club or, the Boys and Girls Club or any kind of family activities that'll bring y'all all in. Now, if you have a middle schooler, you're probably asking about like the advanced classes that they may have, or if they have band or sports or any kind of after school activities. You're probably having the same conversation as you would for high schoolers as well, seeing if they've got the dual enrollment or junior ROTC. I might want to say that correctly. Do they have that college planning classes? But if you are looking north Crestview, Pineview, it changes that school map. If your child needs a more specialized education, you might want to look at Richburg as part of that picture too. Here is the same advice that I would give a friend sitting at my kitchen table. Look, start with the exact home address, then check the district school locator, then look at what your child actually needs and enjoys. Start asking around what clubs, teams, classes, are they active in? If you can tour that school, pay attention to things that you cannot see in a score, how the school communicates, what support looks like whenever a student struggles, what the arrival and dismissal times feel like because of, and Davidson, you got to be there at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning to start their school day. And if you're comparing neighborhoods, try them all at the times that you would really use them. So if you, are using that schools where kids may walk to school, you may want to take a road trip down during those times just to see, what it feels like. Or if you're going to work at 8 o'clock in the morning, you need to know what that drive feels like leaving that neighborhood. So look, I was born and raised here, and I love helping military families. I love helping first-time homebuyer families. I just love helping families understand what Crestview is beyond the listing and the numbers. I will never tell you which school or family that you guys should choose, but I can help you understand the neighborhoods, the school boundaries, the commutes that you have to take, and the housing options so that you can make a decision that fits your life and for your family. Now, if this video has helped you, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment and tell me which school that you would like for me to visit and talk about, or maybe even share a program that your family has loved. Just keep children's names and private information out of my comments. And if you're planning a move to Crestview, whether that you are coming for Eglin, Dukeville, Hurlburt, or just for a new job to start a new chapter, reach out to me because I would love to help you feel at home here before the moving truck even arrives. I'm Tanya Rivera, and this has been Crestview Florida Schools, what parents need to know before moving here for this 2026-2027 school year guide.